My name is Aishé Keita.
And I'm Sadiqua Iman.
And we are here with STG. STG works out of the Moore Theater, the Neptune, and the Paramount. And today we are here with a story time. And the story is called Sukey and the Mermaid. With this story, you will need to be actively listening because with this story today, the characters are going to come to life. So feel free to stand up and put the characters in your body.
If you want to know exactly how to do that, watch me, because I'm going to be listening to the story and putting the moves in my body too. So we're going to learn some moves that's going to go with this cool story.
We ready?
Let's go.
This happened once upon a time on a little island off the coast of South Carolina. A girl named Sukey lived with her ma and steppa in a cabin with a saggy porch and a roof so rickety it let in the sunshine or rain depending on the weather. Every morning a day clean, Sukey would get up to sling her hoe at the weeds in the vegetables in the garden. If she stopped to fan herself with her wide straw hat, her steppa would shout, "Sukey, don't you be skylarking." The girl's mother called her new husband Mr. Jones.
This is the walk for Mr. Jones. Anytime you hear Mr. Jones, everybody go into your mean Mr. Jones walk.
But Sukey had her own name for the bossy do-nothing man. As her hoe rose and fell, she sang, "Mr. Hard Times, Mr. Hard Times, Mr. Hard Times, Mr. Hard Times, Mr. Hard Times." One hot afternoon, when her steppa wasn't looking, Sukey threw down her hoe and took off. She ran through the woods of the pine and the pimento and the mossy oak, past dunes fringed with broom grass, to the beach of a shining white sand that was her secret hideaway. She sat down, pulled off her hat, and unwound her white handkerchief from around her head. The sea breeze cooled her burning face while she wrinkled her bare feet deep to where the sand was wet and cold. She sang a little song she had heard somewhere. These down below, come to me, Mama Joe. Suddenly, a beautiful brown-skinned, black-eyed mermaid rose up in the water. Her hair was as green as seaweed, hung down the mermaid's waist. Sunlight sparked off the gold combs in her hair and the green scales on her fish tails. The girl was mighty frightened, but the mermaid said pleasantly, "How do you do, lady? You look so hot there in the sun. Come into the water and cool off." Now, Sukey had heard folks warn, "Them mermaids crotch you up and pull you beneath the water." So she said, "No, missus, I can't swim. I'll teach you to swim if you wish," the mermaid said. Then she added gently, "You have no reason to fear me, my lady. I came because your song called me." But Sukey would only wade along the side water edge while the mermaid dove under the waves and rose again and dove again and dove under the waves and rose and dove again and rose and dove again. Each time she brought Sukey something, a curious shell, or red and white coral, or bits of green and blue glass polished like jewels by the sea. When the sun began to set, Sukey cried, "Oh, I'm gonna get whooped for sure. I clean forgot to feed the chickens and draw water from the river." "Give this to your folks," said the mermaid, pressing a gold coin into Sukey's hand. "And they won't scold you, But you must promise not to tell them about me. When you want to see me again, just come here and sing. Thee, thee, down below, come to me, Mama Joe. Then Mama Joe disappeared beneath the waves. Sukey hurried home. At first, her ma and steppa yelled because she had not done her chores. But when the mermaid gave her the coin, she showed it and they wondered, "Where did you get this?" Her ma asked. "On the edge of the water," said Sukey. "Well," said steppa, "go off tomorrow to that water edge and see if you can find some more of these." "I will," Sukey answered, happy to have more time to spend with the mermaid. After this, Sukey went to the shore every morning when the day was clean. The mermaid taught her to swim, and sometimes they dove through the water together, and they dove through the water together, and they dove through the water together. One day, the two sat talking beside the waves. "Soon, I'm going to leave this island and go over to the main," said Sukey. "I'll live in a fine place like B.F.A or Charleston. My home is below the sea, away from the world of men," said Mama Joe. "You can come with me if you want." I don't think so," said Sukey. Before she dove under the waves at first dark, the mermaid would give her one small golden coin. This the girl gave to her folks so her ma could buy meat and rice and flannel. Sukey's ma grew more and more curious to know where her daughter was finding these gold coins. One morning, she followed Sukey to the shore. Hiding in the broom bush of the sand dune, she heard Sukey sing, "Thee, thee, down below, come to me, Mama Joe." The woman watched in amazement as the girl and the mermaid sang in the ocean. And she saw the mermaid give Sukey that one golden coin at the end of the day. That night, while Sukey slept, her mom whispered to Mr. Jones about what she had seen. "If I catch that merman," her husband said, "I'll sell him on the main for a pile of gold." Before day clean, as Sukey was sleeping, her ma and steppa carried their canoe down to the shore. The woman sang, "Thee, thee, down below, come to me, Mama Joe." When the mermaid rose up in the water, Mr. Jones chased her in the canoe. He flung his net at her, but an angry mermaid dove beneath the water. She did not come up again, though Sukey's mom sang the magic song over and over. At last, the husband and wife gave up and went home, each blaming each other for what had happened. They said nothing to Sukey, who went to the shore as usual. But Mama Joe did not answer the girl's song that day, or any day. Sukey grieved the loss of her friend because there was no more gold. Mr. Jones made her hoe the garden, clean the house, haul the water until she took sick. Soon she grew so weak that she could barely get out of bed. But in a dream, the mermaid visited her and said, "I will come to you once more and take you to live with me beneath the sea. If you want this, go to the shore and sing. Thee, thee, down below, take me down, Mama Joe." Though she was very tired and sickly, Sukey crept down to the shore while her ma and steppa were away. There she sang softly, thee down below, take me down, Mama Joe. To her joy, the mermaid rose up. She wrapped strands of her magical hair around Sukey so the girl could travel safely beneath the waves. Then she plunged into the ocean. The mermaid carried Sukey down, down, down through the water to her home in the sea well. Sukey found herself in a vast, dry cave. All around her, mother of pearl glowed, filled the place with soft, warm light. Mama Joe said, "This is your home now. I will never scold you down here." For a while, Sukey was happy. The mermaid taught her sea songs and gave her strands of pearls and showed her the rusty chest filled with gold and jewels that was sunken from the pirate ship. In return, Sukey would amuse her friend with riddles she had learned. But after some length of time, the girl began to pine for the sound of human voices and the mockingbird's sweet songs at day clean, for the scent of wild magnolias and jasmine, for the sky of delicious blue dotted with white clouds and gulls. She pleaded to Mama Joe. She pleaded and pleaded and pleaded to Mama Joe. Do carry me back home, Mrs. Carry me back home. At first, the mermaid said no. But, touched by Sukey's tears, she said, "Very well. If you ask me a riddle I can't answer, I will take you home." So Sukey thought and thought. Finally, she said, "There's something that walks all day, and when night comes, she goes under the bed and rests. What's that?" Mama Joe thought and thought, but she couldn't solve the riddle. "That's a shoe!" Sukey cried. She had picked the riddle because the mermaid had no feet and Sukey was always barefoot. "I will take you back to land," said Mama Joe with a sigh. "But time has passed in the worlds above while you have been with me. You are all grown now. Go to the pirate's chest and take a bag of coins and jewels. This will be your dowry. When you return, many men will court you, but marry a man with the name of Dembo. If you choose any other husband, your treasure will disappear." Then the mermaid wrapped her mossy hair around Sukey and brought her to the shore. The young woman returned to the rickety cabin where she found her ma and steppa. Sukey's ma had grown old, grieving for the loss of her daughter. She embraced Sukey with tears of joy. Mr. Jones had grown meaner until he seemed old, dry bones and bitterness. Seeing Sukey's treasure, he pretended to welcome her home. He had his face hidden in his hands like he was crying, but he could not squeeze one salt tear from his eyes. When the story got around that the young woman had brought a rich dowry, all the young men came courting her. But Sukey remembered the mermaid's warning and refused them all. Then one day, a hard-working fisherman rowed across from the mainland to court her. "Name is Dembo," he said simply. Sukey studied his eyes and saw love and honesty and kindness in them. Though he was not as tall or as handsome as the other suitors, she was happy with the man the mermaid had chosen for her. Sukey's mom and her neighbors planned a fine wedding, but Mr. Jones had other plans. "I'm gonna get that gold, he promised himself. The night before the wedding, while Sukey and her mom were away, the wicked man struck Dembo dead and stole the treasure. No one saw him do the deed, so he hid the bag under his mattress. When Sukey discovered the crime, her grief was beyond measure. She ran to the shores where she cried, "Thee, thee, down below, come to me, Mama Joe." The mermaid appeared, and Sukey told her the unhappy tale. Then Mama Joe said, "This is the last time I will come to you. My lady, you must now choose forever between my world and the worlds of men. Think carefully. Below the sea is gentle place without time or pain. Up here, it's hurt and hunger. They're never far away, and time is always ready to steal what little you have." But Sukey said, "I must have Dembo. Do bring my sweetheart back to me, and I won't bother you after this." Mama Joe dropped a seed pearl into the young woman's palm. "See this on Dembo's lips," she told Sukey. Then, with a sad, "Goodbye, my lady," she vanished beneath the waves. Sukey raced back to the cabin where Dembo rested in a plain pine coffin while her mom and the other mourners looked on. She put on a tiny pearl on Dembo's closed lips. Right away, life came into him again. Sitting up, he pointed at Mr. Jones and cried, "That is the one who hit me." But the wicked man snatched the treasure bag and fled to shore, pursuing him by Sukey and Dembo and the others. Mr. Jones jumped into the canoe and paddled away. But as everyone watched, a single dark cloud formed above the boat. Lightning flashed and thunder roared. The ocean beneath the cloud began to churn, and the high waves swamped the canoe. In a moment, the angry water swallowed the boat and its passenger. Suddenly, the sky cleared and the sea calmed. Though they were sorry they lost the mermaid's treasure, Sukey and Dembo were happy to have each other. They confronted Sukey's mom, who said, "Mr. Jones wasn't much, but he was all I had in this world." "You got us, Ma," said Sukey, giving her a hug. "We'll all be getting along just fine now." The next day, the wedding went ahead as planned. After Sukey took Dembo's hand and led him down to the shore, as the two sat on the beach, Sukey wringed her toes deep into the white sand and felt something hidden there. Together, they dug and dug and dug and dug and dug up the lost treasure bag. At that moment, Sukey saw a flash of sunlight on green scales and gold combs far out in the sea. She blew a kiss and a kiss and a kiss across the waves and heard sweet laughter and laughter and laughter and laughter in return. I step on a thing and the thing bends. And that's the way the story ends. Thank you so much for joining us for Story Time for Sukey and the Mermaid. Please continue to check out STG at www.stgpresents.org. And feel free, with any story that you read, let it come to life in your body. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.